The winter of 2011 was the coldest I'd ever experienced, especially when your only shelter is a beaten-up 1998 Honda Civic. At 17, I learned how to survive in that car, which parking lots were safe at night, how to wash up in gas station bathrooms, where to find free Wi-Fi to keep applying for jobs. I had $143 to my name, 3 changes of clothes in my backpack, and my laptop, the only thing I managed to grab before my father threw me out. All because I refused to give up my dreams of starting a tech company to work in his construction business. "You think you're too good for honest work?" he had screamed that night. "You want to waste your life playing with computers? Then do it somewhere else." My mother stood silently in the corner, tears running down her face. My younger sister Madeline watched from the stairs, too scared to speak up. Only my older brother Marcus seemed pleased, smirking as he watched Dad throw my things onto the front lawn. "Get out." Dad's final words still echoed in my head. "Come back when you're ready to grow up and join the real world." That first night in my car, parked behind a 24-hour Walmart, I made myself a promise. I would build something so successful that they would have to face how wrong they were about me. During the day, I haunted coffee shops and libraries, using their Wi-Fi to teach myself programming. YouTube tutorials, online courses, coding forums, I absorbed everything I could. At night, I huddled under blankets in my car, practicing code on my laptop until the battery died. I got a job as a dishwasher at a local diner, working 12-hour shifts for minimum wage. The owner, Ms. Chen, let me park my car behind the restaurant at night, safer than the Walmart lot. Sometimes she'd leave leftover food for me, pretending she was just going to throw it away anyway. "You're a smart kid," she'd say, watching me code on my breaks. "Don't let this be your whole story." 3 months into my homeless life, I caught a break. A small tech startup needed someone to build them a basic website. I'd been practicing web development and took a chance applying. They hired me as a freelancer, paying me $500 for the project. That first real tech paycheck felt like a fortune. I rented a tiny room in a shared house, barely bigger than my car, but it had a real bed and a shower. More importantly, it had reliable internet. I kept working at the diner during the day, but at night I was building my skills and my client base. One website job led to another. Soon I was making more from freelance work than from washing dishes. Ms. Chen caught me sleeping at my laptop one morning before my shift. Instead of being angry, she sat down across from me. "Tell me what you're working on," she said. I explained my idea for a software platform that would help small restaurants manage online orders, delivery services, and customer relationships, all the things I'd seen her struggling with at the diner. "How much would you charge for something like that?" she asked. "For you? Free. You've helped me so much already." She shook her head. "No, if it's worth building, it's worth paying for. I'll be your first real customer." That conversation changed everything. Ms. Chen didn't just become my first client. She introduced me to other restaurant owners, gave me space to work after hours, and most importantly, believed in me when no one else did. I named my company Serve Smarter, building it piece by piece while still working full-time at the diner. Ms. Chen let me test every new feature at her restaurant, giving honest feedback that helped me refine the product. Word spread through the local restaurant community. Small business owners appreciated that I understood their problems firsthand. By the time I turned 18, 20 restaurants were using my software. I quit the dishwashing job on my 19th birthday, the same day I signed my first major client, a regional restaurant chain with 50 locations. Ms. Chen brought out a cake after closing time. "Congratulations, CEO," written in wobbly frosting letters. "I'm not really a CEO," I laughed. "Just a programmer who got lucky." She looked at me seriously. "You lived in your car, taught yourself to code, and built something valuable while washing dishes for minimum wage. That's not luck, that's determination." I thought about my family during that small celebration. They had no idea that their irresponsible son was now running a growing tech company. Through Madeline, who secretly kept in touch, I knew Dad's construction business was struggling to keep up with modern demands. Marcus, who had dutifully joined the family business, was proving to be better at spending money than making it. The next few years were a blur of growth and challenges. Serve Smarter expanded from restaurant management to full-service business operations software. We opened our first real office, hired employees, raised venture capital funding. Every success felt like a step further from that cold car and closer to vindication. But I never forgot the lessons of those homeless months: how to be resourceful, how to stay hungry, how to turn rejection into motivation. Then last week, 5 years after being thrown out of my childhood home, I received an email that made my heart stop. It was a job application from Marcus, followed shortly by one from my father. Their construction company had finally gone under, and they were looking for fresh starts. They had no idea they were applying to their homeless relative's company. Tomorrow, I would be conducting their interviews personally. The scared 17-year-old who slept in his car had become a CEO worth noting, and it was time for my family to learn exactly who they had thrown away. I adjusted my tie in the reflection of my corner office window, watching the morning sun glint off neighboring skyscrapers. 5 years had transformed me from a scared teenager sleeping in his car to the CEO of a company valued at over $100 million. Today, that transformation would come full circle. "Sir?" My assistant David appeared in the doorway. "Your 9 a.m. interview is here, Mr. Marcus Turner." I smiled, remembering my brother's smirk the night I was thrown out. "Give me 5 minutes, then send him in." I sat behind my desk, deliberately turning my chair to face the window. The door opened and I heard Marcus's footsteps hesitate. "Please, take a seat," I said without turning around. "Thank you for meeting with me," Marcus began, his voice carrying that same arrogant tone I remembered. "I have to say, ServSmarter's growth has been impressive. My background in construction management could really help with your expansion plans." I slowly turned my chair around. The look on his face was priceless: confusion, shock, then pure disbelief. "Daniel," he whispered. "What? How?" "That's Mr. Turner to you," I corrected calmly. "Or CEO Turner, if you prefer. Now about your application." Marcus's face flushed red. "This is some kind of joke. You're the CEO? The homeless kid who was too good for real work." I pulled up his resume on my tablet. Interesting career history: 10 years at Turner Construction, rising from site manager to VP of operations. Though our background check shows the company's significant losses under your leadership. Would you care to explain? He shifted uncomfortably. The market changed. Technology disrupted everything. Technology? I raised an eyebrow. You mean like the kind of technology I was wasting my time with? Before he could respond, my phone buzzed. "Sir, your 9:30 is here early. Mr. James Turner." Perfect timing. Send him in. The door opened and my father walked in. He aged in 5 years, more gray in his hair, deeper lines around his eyes. He stopped dead when he saw me, then looked at Marcus with confusion. "What is this?" he demanded. "Please, Dad, have a seat." I gestured to the other chair. We were just discussing Marcus's role in Turner Construction's decline. Dad's face darkened with anger. "If this is some kind of revenge." "Revenge?" I laughed softly. "No, this is a job interview. You both applied to work at my company. I'm simply conducting due diligence." I stood up and walked to the window, looking out at the city I'd conquered. "Tell me, Dad, what exactly did you say the night you threw me out?" "Something about joining the real world." He remained silent, but I could see his reflection in the window. The proud man who'd thrown away his son was now facing that same son's success. "Well, this is the real world," I continued. "The one where technology drives progress, where innovation beats tradition, where a homeless teenager can build $100 million company from nothing." I turned back to face him. "You thought I was worthless because I wouldn't follow your path. You threw me away because I dared to dream bigger than a construction site. Now here you are, applying for jobs at my company." Marcus stood up angrily. "We don't need your charity." "Charity?" I cut him off. "No, what you need is a reality check. Your construction company is bankrupt. Your reputation in the industry is ruined. You're both unemployed and running out of options. So let me make this interesting." I pressed a button on my desk, and the large screen on the wall came to life, showing ServSmarter's latest project. "We're developing software to revolutionize the construction industry. Project management, resource allocation, automated scheduling, everything Turner Construction's troubled with. We're looking for people with industry experience to consult on the development." Dad's eyes widened slightly. Despite his anger, I could see the businessman in him recognizing the opportunity. "The positions pay well with full benefits," I continued. "But there are conditions." "What conditions?" Dad asked, speaking for the first time. First, it'll start at entry level, just like everyone else. No special treatment because of our history. Second, you'll report to Ms. Chen, our head of client relations. The diner owner? Marcus scoffed. She's working here. She's a partner in the company, I corrected sharply. She believed in me when my own family threw me away. She's earned her position, unlike some people. I sat back down, folding my hands on my desk. And the final condition? You'll need to apologize. Not to me, but to Madeline. They both stiffened. Why Madeline? Dad demanded. Because she's been carrying the guilt of that night for 5 years. She calls me crying sometimes, apologizing for not standing up to you. She's working as my executive assistant now, by the way. Started in the mailroom and earned her way up. On cue, the door opened and Madeline walked in. She'd grown from the scared teenager into a confident young woman. Dad and Marcus turned to stare at her in shock. Maddie? Marcus whispered. You've been here all along. She walked over to stand beside my desk. Someone had to be there for Daniel. Family doesn't throw family away. The room fell silent. I could see the wheels turning in Dad's head, pride warring with practicality. The choice is yours, I said finally. 2 good jobs with real futures or your pride. You have until the end of the day to decide. And if we refuse? Marcus challenged. I smiled. Then you can leave the same way you made me leave, with nothing but your convictions to keep you warm at night. They left my office in silence, father and son united in their shock and confusion. Madeline stayed behind, tears in her eyes. Do you think they'll take the jobs? She asked. They will, I replied confidently. Dad's too practical not to, and Marcus will follow his lead, just like always. I was right. By end of day, both had accepted the positions. They would start next week, learning the very technology they had once dismissed. That evening, I drove to Ms. Chen's diner, the same one where I'd washed dishes and dreamed of something bigger. She still ran it, even while helping manage Serve Smarter's client relations. So, she asked, sliding a piece of apple pie in front of me. How did it go? I told her about the interviews, about Dad's silence and Marcus's anger, about their eventual acceptance of the jobs. Are you going to forgive them? She asked quietly. I thought about the cold nights in my car, about the years of struggle, about the strength I'd found in myself. Forgiveness isn't the point, I replied. They needed to learn that the world is bigger than their narrow view of success. Maybe now they will. She nodded, understanding as always. From homeless to CEO. You've come a long way. We've come a long way, I corrected. I wouldn't be here without you believing in me. Outside, the sun was setting over the city. Somewhere out there, my father and brother were confronting their new reality. Their homeless failure had become their CEO. Their thrown-away son had built an empire. Sometimes the best revenge isn't making people suffer. It's showing them exactly what they lost when they gave up on you. And sometimes the greatest success is not in proving others wrong, but in proving yourself right. Next week, my family would start their new jobs, learning to build something valuable in the world I created. The 17-year-old who slept in his car would finally rest easy, knowing his dream had become their salvation. That's the thing about success. It's the best answer to anyone who ever told you weren't good enough. And sometimes, the people who throw you away end up working for the person they threw away.